and a recorder. So here we are, John and I, near the top of Knight's Track. Slight nor'wester. Mount Tunapo, a prominent point here. We're headed up here to Toka Trig. And then hopefully camp somewhere up there in the Tarns, or head down towards Tunapo Trig and then drop down to Toka Biv. Beautiful country. That's Tunapo.
In the background.
Yeah, Toka's up here. So we just kind of carry on up here.
Here somewhere.
Yep. I think that prominent point.
Right.
So we just climb up here.
Little ways to go.
Yep. Oh, that wind seems to be picking up a bit, eh?
Yeah.
Well, here we are on the Namoko Range in the Ruahine. Have our camp set up beneath
Beneath a
howling gale in Toka Trig. This is looking northeast, and above the high point that we're looking at there is Tunapo Trig, and we're in a sheltered little gully here with a little tarn, and we just needed to get out of the wind. Really, it was pretty cold and pretty fierce. You can see the clouds rolling by, and we were going to head to a little bivvy, supposedly about 1:30 hours from here, but it looks like it's down pretty far across there, which involves another climb through that wind, and we just decided not to do that. So we were gonna head down this ridge just below us here towards Leon Kingvig, where we're heading for anyway, and then just to get out of the wind and camp. But then we stumbled across this little beauty and set up camp. So we're going to spend the night here. It's about 3:30, I think, and so we've got a couple hours of daylight left, and be up and at 'em early tomorrow, I guess. So we're looking down below is the headwaters of Pohongina Valley, and we're headed down there tomorrow. Hopefully joined by Pohongina Pete, if the weather allows. But she's a bit chillier up here than it is down on the flatland, so I think it's time to look at having a cup of hot soup or tea or something, John. Two of them. John and I have arrived at Leon Kingvig Hut after a pretty brutal walk down through the wind on the tops and a very steep descent way up to the tops. And a pair of Theo has just landed outside the hut. Got to look at that as a good sign, John. So we were just sitting on the porch and I heard the cry. Look at that. Hear the two different cries? Male and female, eh? So this is the Pahongana River. Beautiful little waterfall there. You can see the hut up there. But after a grueling climb down, that is cool. River's actually up a little bit. When we last left you on this tape, John and I were camped up on the tops out of the wind. And the wind kept up during the night. We'd hear the gusts come over and then rain. And when we opened up the flaps of the tent this morning, it was completely socked in. Windy. We debated whether we should even proceed. But we did. And here we are. But it was very unpleasant, to be honest. If I'd have been on my own, I definitely wouldn't have done it, I don't think. But here we are. Beautiful little swimming hole right here. Mr. Nash might be tempted. And a pair of Theo just hanging out. Beautiful, eh? These are the days. Yep. Say hello, Pete.
Hello, Rob.
Well, I'm going to take you on a little tour of our surrounds. I think we saw some of this yesterday, but back here we obviously have the hut, Leon Kingvig, Pete and John. And I'm sure by the microphone you can pick up the wind. So there's a track right here that heads up to the tops on the other side of the main Ruahine Range. We of course came that way via Namoko, where we will also head tomorrow. But we're definitely not going anyplace today. as the wind has dropped down here to river level, and you can see up there by the cloud is lowered as well, so we'd probably be hitting cloud about 800 or 900 meters, I suppose. Which makes it a bit tricky to pick up the route because it's a poled route across the open tops, and if it's clagged in like it was yesterday for us, it makes it more difficult. And John and I were sitting out here last night watching the FIO at about 5 o'clock, and I don't know up there, but you can see the orange marker of the track, which just heads steeply up. And lo and behold, pops Pete, who bared the same tops gale force winds to show up. So that was really a pleasant surprise, and we had a lovely evening. Had a fine dinner and good conversation. And the FIO were here to greet Pete and John and I, so it's been pretty cool. So we have today to just really enjoy the confines of this beautiful area on the Pohungana River. And I dare say I might even take a dip in that pool, even though it's pretty cold. We'll see what happens. Hopefully the wind will ease up a bit and give us a good day to get out tomorrow. So, the Pohungana River here anyway, there's a hut about upriver, about 2 to 3 hours, called Top Gorge Hut, which I've been to. So the only section of this river that I have not done in my Ruahine years is the section from here to Top Gorge. So I've come to Top Gorge dropping down from Longview, and then I've come down river, gone down river here to Namoko Hut, and then Namoko Hut to Mid-Pohungana, and Mid-Pohungana to the road end. But it's been a long time. It's been since 2005, so 9 years that since I've been here. That was an interesting trip, because I've done most of my outings have been on the eastern side, Top Marapia, Marapia Forks, and Triangle a little bit further down. Show them the inside of the hut.
Maybe you can take that with it on the way back, Rob.
And these are the amenities of inside the hut. Fireplace, cooking benches, billies, bench bunks. So John, Pete, myself. Very cool. Home sweet home. I'll talk to you later. Well, here we are, Saturday, 26 April, and you can see the Ruahine gods were with us and blew away the bad weather overnight. It rained and windy till about maybe 4 in the morning, and then we woke up to this, which is pretty spectacular. Because we were quite getting quite concerned because it was raining really hard and wondering if the river was going to come up, in which case we wouldn't get across. And then the gale force winds up here. because we have to walk up to this high point and then drop down. But from here to there in a gale, like we walked in, John and I walked in, and Pete, and it's not real hard to get off track in the mist. You know, on a day like this, it's pretty straightforward. You just follow the ridge line. So this is Tolka Trig where we're headed, and then down on the other side. So that's the Namoko range there, and then the main Ruahine range, which picks up across here. Pahungana Valley. Just beautiful. And I started out before Pete and John. Pete's like a jackrabbit, so I think it took John and I a total of 7 hours to get from the car to Leon Kingvig all up, and that includes camping up on top. And Pete walked all the way in from the car in about 4 hours. John probably would have been a lot quicker too, because I'm just a bit slower and cognizant, of course, of my hip and stuff, but you just got to go slow. I mean, it's a good slog out of the valley down there. I mean, I probably just climbed for, I don't know, John has the altimeter with the watch, but probably about 600 meters, maybe 500 meters so far. And it's all steep uphill. But it's all worth it, I guess, when you get up here on a day like this, because we can just take our time and really enjoy it rather than having to worry about fighting a gale, getting lost, getting cold, hypothermic. Yeah, that part of it I can't say I really enjoy, but you know, these are the mountains and you got to take the good with the bad. And John and I were wondering if we had made the right decision until we got down to the hut. And once we did, you know, we were okay. But when you're out here fighting the wind and can't really see where the track is going, you know, you have to rely on your experience and your love of being here, because it can change real quick. So anyway, I thought I'd give you a view of you really can't get any more central than this. Smack dab between the Namoko and the main Ruahine range. So I'm just going to have a drink and a snack and see if these guys show up. In other words, I'm going to carry on. So I might try to catch you in the forest, perhaps. Kakiteano.